Donatello is a fellow and has a way with machines, but with him appearing in every episode of a 2012 Ninja Turtles show, there are bound to be some certain episodes that really stand out against all the other ones for this particular character. So today we'll be going over the top 5 Donatello episodes voted by you, the fans. And before we do get started, if you would like to leave a comment in the comment section below listing your favourite episodes, as I'm pretty sure this is going to be really interesting to hear just your favourite episodes, just due to him being in every single episode. I'm pretty sure your list will be different to this list, and I'm not saying that this is the right list, but, well, you voted it.
And the fact that he had me by the face, Mikey!
For honorable mention, it has to go to Race with a Demon. In this episode, Don and Casey try to stop the Speed Demon by beating him at a race. This, however, does result in the Speed Demon taking over Donatello and giving us the Speed Demon Donatello. The reason why this episode is on an honourable mention is just because we've never seen anything like this before, and we'll most likely never see this ever again. Not to mention the design and the voice is just so cool not to put on this list.
You know, I'm a sporting guy, so how about we race for it?
The first episode on the list is A Foot Too Big. In this episode, the Turtles take Bigfoot in, but Donnie is affected the most, as he's given the most affection to the point that he realises what he's been doing to April for the past 2 seasons. I think this episode was really good for Donnie, as he really got to see his errors of his ways in a really interesting way. However, the final scene with April, I do feel as though it sort of did ruin things in terms of the message it was trying to get at the viewers with Donnie. But, well, at least it was an interesting way they went around it, but yikes.
I get it now. Donnie is to April as Bigfoot was to Donnie.
Next up is MMan Unleashed. In this episode, Donatello is talking to a pulverizer, who is now known as MMan, about his life and about April and just how he feels about April. But this does have a big effect on the pulverizer, aka MMan, as he starts to develop feelings for April over time due to what Donatello has been saying. This makes him grow his limbs and go after April to try and make him fall in love with him, sort of in a way. But this, however, does force Donatello to take MMan down by freezing him. This episode is really good and really goes hard with how Donatello feels about April, and it also really shows just how much April really means to Don and also the team.
Yep, it's a mess, Metalhead.
Next up is Metalhead. In this episode, Donatello realises that he's at a disadvantage with using their bow staff, so he upgrades to Metalhead. But when things go from bad to worse within seconds, Donatello is forced to go back to using a stick to save the day. This episode does a really good job of showing his inventive skills, however that does come with a cost of it being, how do I say this, really cringe.
On this monitor she can't tell I'm staring.
You do know that's not muted, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't like being tickled.
Second to last on the list is Metalhead Rewired. In this episode, Don rebuilds Metalhead, but when Metalhead gets some information about the Krang, Don decides to shut down Metalhead just due to any really bad things that could happen with Metalhead being affected by viruses or something like that. But Metalhead decides to attack Donatello and runs off to go to Krang base. But when the Turtles catch up to him, they see all the mutants that the Krang have captured over the past few weeks. So the Turtles save the day by letting all the mutants go. However, this does come at a cost with Metalhead sacrificing himself. But at the end, Donatello picks up Metalhead's head and says that he's going to rebuild him better than ever. While this episode doesn't really have anything specifically great about Donatello within this episode, I do feel as though there are some really good emotional moments within this episode for Donatello, specifically near the end where he picks up Metalhead and when he gives the thumbs up to Metalhead. I feel like those are really good emotional moments for this episode, but after hearing my description of this episode and the emotional moments, I'm not gonna lie, it has changed my opinion on this episode.
I programmed him to be intelligent, but I didn't realize how much he had evolved.
So for the last episode on the list, it is The Heart of Evil. When the Foot and the Turtles find out that Don Vizioso has Shredder's heart, a big war breaks out between all 3 factions. However, Don uses this opportunity to get some revenge for what Don Vizioso tried to do last time, but when he has the opportunity to do some real damage, he sees the error of his ways. This is a great episode for Don, as we get to see a much darker side of the character, which I think we've all been missing and wanting to see. And I'm not gonna lie, this episode shows just how much of a badass Donatello could be and is. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know in the comment section below if you agree with this list or if you don't. And if you do have another favourite episode, let me know what it is in the comment section below. As I'm quite interested to hear what your favourite episodes are, as I'm pretty sure everyone's list is going to be completely different. But yeah, that's going to be it for today guys. If you do love this one, please share, like, subscribe and all that stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.
And the fact that he had me by the face, Mikey!